that Vox back and then go ahead, but if you got vision, it's a lot harder.
All right, the draft is ready, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to be kicking this one off for Game 2 of Rogue versus Misfits. So far, Rogue is leading 1-0.
Yeah, Ringo going to be taken off the board right away. So, again, this emphasis on the Ringo really coming through here in North America.
Yeah, I just wish I could be inside the voice comms right now of Rogue. I think they're already smiling, quite happy that they're going to get some delicious power pick here.
Well, the other thing is that composition they just ran, like, what does that do to your opponent's mindset? Now that they're like, okay, well, they might pull out a Krull against us at any given moment. Like, you have so many extra things to think about now because you have to now think, we don't want to pick a composition that could be super countered by a Krull. Like, we don't want to get a carry that's going to be just beaten by him. But they leave open the Lyra. Means the Adagio first pick. Very likely Lyra here, you think?
Well, they could just ban it afterwards if they want to pick something else up, right?
It could.
Yeah, they definitely could. And as far as Misfits, it's a little bit of a wild card for me, as if they would go to that Lyra or not. It seems like North America definitely were on that train and very quickly got off of it.
Mm-hmm. If they don't pick or ban the Lyra here,
And?
don't worry about it. They do pick up the Finn or ban the Lyra. So the Lyra is gone. I was going to say, if they let
There's
the
the
Lyra
glaive.
through.
I like winning and or losing. I'm just saying.
All day long.
That's a little different. Come on.
All right, well, Lyra, Glaive, they're going to be the bans. Finn and Adagio, the first 2 picks. Misfits has a chance to lock in another one here.
Yeah, they could go ahead and pick up their laner here. Or they could try and get something else to add to the crowd
Get the
control
Kestrel
of the
in
Finn.
here. Start rolling with little Cassie.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see the Kestrel, get that Crystal Kestrel, the Kestrel Finn combo. We saw the pairing.
Well, that's an Illis hero too.
It really is. But we saw the pairing in Europe. We never got to see the combo.
That's true.
Well,
I think it's good into the Adagio also, because he's very immobile.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's really good.
A nice stationary target when he starts up that Verse of Judgment. Pull him right on into a active camo field. Could work out very well.
They're taking their time here.
They really, I mean, it's interesting that they're taking so much time so early on.
Wow.
They do have to kind of think about 2 picks coming in from Rogue up next. And a Celeste very early in the draft, compared to at least when we've seen Celeste picked recently.
Well, my thought was, everybody's talking about, okay, Rogue had this unique draft in Game 1. How do you approach that? What are you thinking about? And I was thinking Misfits, just go back to a comp that you're comfortable on. Something that, of course, you're consciously drafting into what Rogue are doing, but pick things that you're comfortable on that has synergy as a composition. Right here, Finn, Celeste, this is pretty classic right off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a combo that we've seen like way back when Finn first came out. A lot of teams were pairing Finn with the Celeste, pulling him into core collapses or into solar storms that were just hitting the entire team and just chunking through their health. So look for that possibility, but I'm still fairly surprised to see the Celeste picked without knowing what their opponent's laner is going to be.
That's the confidence. I think that's a huge show of confidence right there.
It could also be a jungle Celeste, though. I mean, from East Asia, we see that
100%, yeah, definitely.
somewhat frequently.
No, I mean, I think every region is touching on that jungle Celeste right now.
Very well could be, and that's what Rogue has to try and figure out. Do they think it will be in the lane or the jungle as they try and decide what they want their last 2 picks to be here? They're running about halfway through a little over halfway through their bonus time now, as they've just really putting a lot of thought into this last pick. Again, these mind games that are showing up in these drafts, really fun to watch.
Yeah, it really is. I'm just trying to think of, do Rogue decide to go into, this range battle? Because, I mean, when you're dealing with Celeste, that's half the battle. Or close the gap and just get on top of her. So this is the Taka right here, thinking inside the box, yep.
Going to be picking up this Taka, looking to try and find some plays here. I'm iffy on Taka into Finn, but against the Celeste, you can actually do some really fun things, because obviously Celeste wants to stay at such a long range. But with the Arden coming through here now, does mean it is going to be almost certainly a carry Adagio, which, again, I love seeing the carry Adagio.
So, Weapon Taka?
Most likely Weapon Taka. It's, just really getting that early disruption. You put a buff onto the Taka as the Adagio. He jumps in, get Gift of Fire and buff onto immediately, and he can blow up a target from stealth.
Yeah, definitely. Celeste does not want to itemize defensively.
No,
wants
not
to get
at all.
In. Yeah, I mean, maybe she picks up a reflex just to get herself out of a gauntlet, but you really don't want to be picking up a lot more defense.
Yeah. And there's a lot of tools to get that Taka onto the Celeste. Obviously, Taka himself can do it. You then add in the Vanguard from Arden for a little bit extra move speed, and then Adagio just pops down the Gift of Fire and the buff on him, and that Celeste, if she doesn't have defense, is going to just flat out get blown up.
Misfits have got about 15 seconds of bonus time left here, and that's it. So they have to finalize their picks here. What do you think they should pick? It's going to be an alpha.
It's going to be an alpha.
I like alpha
I was
into
thinking
Taka.
Gwen. I would have liked Gwen. I like Gwen into Taka. It would have been nice to stick her up in the lane, but then your Celeste is vulnerable in the jungle. So this is a pretty smart move. And alpha counters out that Taka. Yeah, this is a good choice.
Yeah, the alpha does very well into Taka generally, and especially later on in the game, can go diving into the back lines, and then if the Taka does get onto the Celeste, can quickly get right back onto that, and so can really kind of disrupt what Rogue is going to be looking to do.
Yeah.
All right, so out of these two compositions, who are you favoring heading into game 2?
I'm going to go with Misfits compositionally.
Okay.
I actually think this one's going to go to Rogue. I think they showed a lot in game number 1, really kind of proved themselves to me.
And so, yeah, I'm curious, right? Because Misfits, I think you said compositionally, I feel like we said the same thing in game 1, and Rogue kind of outplayed them. Maybe they're not quite as comfortable in this environment yet.
I think Rogue probably takes the game. But
That's what I wanted to hear.
But compositionally, I think Misfits have the
I want you to put it
advantage.
all on the line. I want a full prediction every time I ask that
There
question.
you go. There's the prediction,
All
Jackson.
right. All right.
Are you going to jump ship again, or you stick into this one?
No. I've never jumped ship like once in my life. You guys are ridiculous.
All right. Well, you know what else is going to be ridiculous? This next game, we've got game 2 of Rogue versus Misfits coming right up on the Halcyon Fold with Dalsy and Forecourt Jester.
Is this second game between Rogue and Misfits. Rogue 1-0 up. And a very interesting draft coming out of Misfits to try and equalize the series. We did a bit of research on Illust, and it is going to be this Celeste in the jungle, which was what we predicted. But even more curiously, an alpha in the lane for King. What is this? Is Illust going to the lane or what?
Yeah, there's a good possibility Ila's just going to take over lane on this one and just kind of let King go through like a favorite pick of his with that Alpha. Alpha versus Ataka, I feel like Alpha doesn't do really that badly. Of course, you can buy a lot of time with your Infinite Reboot if you really need to. But yeah, it will be Illust up in lane. King's going to take over the jungle here with this Alpha, and we'll have to see how Rogue react, at least for now. A little bit more of a stranger start. Some nice 3-man roaming, looking for some trouble. Doesn't find it. Misfits clear jungle. Now they're up in lane. Rogue are eventually going to follow suit, and all back to business as normal.
Very strange stuff here. And it's always curious when you see players swap roles here. You know, King is
Versatility,
known
man.
as the carry for Misfits, Illust the jungle for Misfits. But these players obviously feel comfortable enough, you know, switching roles, especially when it just comes down to having the hero that they want for their drafts.
And sometimes comfort picks will just kind of outweigh everything else. But I do really maintain that it's a good sign of versatility, because some players are just better with Taka than others, right? So if Sibs has a better Adagio and Hammy knows that he's very confident on the Taka, why not just swap it up, right? Because then you're playing to comfort zones from them. So Rogue so far have dominated out this jungle. They've gone through, stolen actually out of Trant, looking for the Elder, and well, it's going to go uncontested here as well, Dowsy. So nice little start from both sides. Keep an eye on Sibs, my friend. I'm not entirely confident it's going to be pure weapon out of him.
Okay, well, we'll have to watch that build as the game does go on. But you are right. Comfort is a huge thing, and for Misfits, they definitely need comfort after getting styled on in Game 1 by Rogue. Just going back to the basics, going back to what they're comfortable on, could just be enough to give them the morale boost they need to start contesting Rogue when they start making their moves. But this Celeste is going to be vulnerable to Sibs on the Taka. So Eco, Finn, going to have a lot of presence in making sure he heals for the Celeste. Currently Sibs looking to steal some more jungle. Has Evolved to help him out. Eco's made his way down. May see a bit of a fight over this tree, and I'm not sure they'll go all out, but in fact, I could be wrong. Zip's taking a huge chunk of damage, but they're going for Eco. Will Eco fall is the question? He does! First blood goes to Evo. The supportal combat won out by the Arden. And now King looking low as well. Does have that passive, and Illest is coming down as well. King going low. Will he reboot? Evo going to walk into Hammy, who gets the heal. King will survive. I think, yeah, Hammy can't take him down. So they walk away, Rogue with 1 kill and the first blood.
All right, I'm going to let you in on a secret here, Dowsy. Do you know why that was able to go so overwhelmingly well for Rogue? It's nothing about Weapon or Crystal. It comes down to Evo. Look at his contract. It's a Dragon Blood contract. These guys knew from the outset that they are going to continuously look for the farm and a fight, and if they can get it, that's 100 bonus damage per charge with a 30% slow for 2 seconds. That is easy sauce for Sibs to land the damage from there. It's the big reason why Eco kind of got chunked out.
Yeah, huge stuff there coming through, and it's great to see that Rogue's game plan started at second 1 of this game, and 3.5 minutes in, it's executed. That's the sign of a team who is thinking through their draft, thinking through how they're going to play their style, and that Mr. Empty Broker just going to be happy with how Rogue is playing so far.
So, yeah, it wasn't the best of trades there for Misfits. We did get the infinite reboot and lost out a kill. Sibs is looking to at least start off with a little bit of on-hit weapon. He's gone into the tension bow, gotten it relatively early here as well, Dowsy. So this is a nice boost for him. I'm just curious to see where he'll go from it, because I have a suspicion with a Finn on the other side, he might just go all on hit.
Yeah, you will have to see. Coming through, the tension bow certainly indicates that it's not going to be crystal power. It's kind of what you expect, considering.
There's something of a build, though, of having the tension into the aftershock, and even with the Storm Crown. Storm Crown is really popular right now, right? That's the on-hit build, the Vega hands, or the Vegeta hands. There's actually quite a few incarnations of the names of it, but that's the tension bow burst, that's the aftershock percentage hit points, and the true damage plus cooldowns from a Storm Crown. So that's what I'm keeping in the back of my head here. If he goes into the weapon, cool. But if he doesn't, that's the build I would choose.
That would be very curious and very inventive as well. I would look forward to see if your prediction comes to be here for Court. I'm definitely hoping for you here. Yeah. But 5 minutes and a half of this game, and Gold dead even. Eco just trying his best to trade, but it's so hard to do so. And Illis needs to start hitting those Helogenesises, but he needs to be careful. Look at where Sibs is positioning. He's been in that bush for so long, just hoping that Illis oversteps.
But so far, like Misfits, they're really just kind of sticking together. They're sticking to their home turf here as well. Not a lot of aggression to come out. Gold-wise, we're actually not that different, but Rogue got that mentality. They got this early game sort of momentum that they've built up, and they're feeling good. And when you're feeling good, you definitely make less mistakes. You can see the hesitation almost for Misfits. They really need to start looking at some scout traps, I feel. You can see Eco, he's already actually put down one. He's flaring these bushes as well. One misstep and you lose out a whole jungle, and you're looking at a very behind King.
Yeah, definitely, and missing out on ganks like that certainly doesn't help as well. The Prime Directive dodged away by Evol. Does mean that King has to go back to the jungle, but good timing because Sibs is here to steal it away. You definitely don't want to be giving any more treants over to this guy. He is actually going to try and take away this gold miner. Has that Storm Crown banner, and like you said, so it does look he's going towards Storm Crown. Rest of Rogue here, looking to secure it. Misfits could steal it away, but they won't. It's secured by Evil. Misfits, though, going to take the opportunity to fight. They're looking to get onto it, but Sibs straight on to Illis, looking to take the Celeste down. There's not much the Celeste can do. That's her down. 1 kill to Rogue, looking for more, but Finn, he's doing the work. He's putting in the hours, and Evil going to go down to King as well. Misfits able to trade back 2 for 1 in that fight.
Now, Sibs was able to start all over Celeste, and he did get the kill, but Finn right now, he's just a bit too healthy to kind of bring down to his knees. He has that found, he has that reflex, and on top of that, a Dragon Heart. Now, you can see Sibs has actually been keeping this Crystal Sentry busy. Did get flared out. Eco's not giving up this hunt. Here comes Celeste as well.
Yeah, definitely, and the Sentry does go down, but Sibs will lose his life for it. Not much of a trade there.
At least he got the Sentry, though.
Yeah, he's going to be happy with that. The gold earned from it, it's not equal to his death, I don't think, but the fact that it's got 3 lives attached to its name, Rogue will be like, you know what, we just gained a bit of map control.
Oh, okay. 2 for 2 today on Alphas and Shatterglass. maybe I missed the memo on this one here, Dowsy, but it did not perform earlier on. I will have to see if King can kind of turn my opinion around on that one. You put a lot of eggs in the shattered glass basket here.
Yep. No, and you usually expect a bit more burst coming out from the alpha, alternating current coming through, I think, first.
Even just an Aftershock. Aftershock just plays so well into a kit.
Yeah, lots of different options. We'll be interested to see if he's able to do it. We are going to see that that Storm Crown completed. Ooh, Forster Cord goes through.
That's
Is
good
blocked.
Crucible.
Yeah, Crucible now depleted. King looked for the engage. They might even still continue Misfits. King definitely wants to, but the damage is going down. The gauntlet placed as well. King can't escape. He's put into his reboot. No termination protocol. Solar Flare to try and give a bit of pressure, but it's not enough. And now Illis is in trouble. Here comes Sibs. Illis trying to get away. Good stun, but it's not enough. Sibs goes down and escapes the turrets as well. Hammy just healing on up. 2 kills for Rogue, and nothing Misfits could do.
Everyone low, but Eco does not have that anchor ready to roll. He has still a 39-second cooldown on the Forster Cord because it was blocked out early, and as soon as it went down and whiffed, you saw Rogue turn up the gas, and they just motored on right through, picking up one, even forcing King again out of that termination protocol. It did just when you bring down such a big part of the kit like that termination protocol from an alpha, it's like you're playing only with 2 buttons in this matchup, and that's not what you want somebody that's in a carry role to be performing at. So King, I'm feeling for him. He went to the Shadow Glass. He didn't have the defensives. The Ardent Gauntlet went up. He had nowhere to go, so he had to fight and then stun, silence, whatever it was. No ults means no kills.
And playing off-roll as well. Misfits may start feeling the heat. This is kind of the stage in the previous game where they lost control. Another gold mine goes in favor. Sibs just able to take that one uncontested, and that's a huge gold swing over to Rogue again.
Well, those are his on hits actually working with that Storm Crown.
He's gonna get dived. So Sibs wants the. He's so thirsty. So much burst, and the Forster Cord block as well. There's nothing that Illis can do to the tension bow Storm Crown combination. So much burst. The burst will go out just to provide cover. Good fountain keeps Sibs alive. Turret destroyed for Rogue. Playing a little bit close to the wire, but this time they get out alive.
I don't think Sibs actually needs to go for the Aftershock. So far, they've been able to handle really kind of playing around Eco. If you really want to bring him down, or if we really just kind of go for a lot of turtling up here for Misfits, then Aftershock is actually an okay idea. But Sibs very likely into a breaking point from here so that he can utilize the fact that he has the attack speed. He's going to get those stacks. You know that his cooldown's already good enough to just keep rinse repeating and just jumping on top of the face of either King or Illis. And Illis, the prime target in most of this. So I think Sibs is good enough with his on hit. Doesn't need to get the third. I really do think a breaking point can actually just seal the deal.
This double CP composition, you can see the crystal infusions being purchased by Illis and King, is starting to get itemized against very well here by Rogue. And Misfits are going to be on a bit of a timer as to whether or not they can get the burst going, especially when Illis is constantly being bursted out by Sibs. King is wanting to find an engage here. You can see the way he's positioning. He's eager to try and get a termination protocol go down.
It might actually be the finally the first one to go down, because it's just been a very poor record today. It's just so much counter alpha play coming out from these teams. It's like they got that hero pick figured out.
It looks like this might be a time for Misfits to start it. Crystal Sentry the target, but King going in onto the fight. That Sentry didn't last very long. Sibs just knifing through everyone. The Termination Protocol this time onto Hammy, and it will blow up, doing damage, but it's not enough. That's going to be Illis going. Hammy to burst everyone with a burst. King comes out of his reboot. Can he get anything else? Eco tanking it all up. No, he cannot. He has ran out of damage, and that's going to be Sibs finding his second kill onto Eco as well. An ace for Rogue, and now a turret as well.
Hammy is sitting at 9 stacks of Broken Myth to go along with that level 9 infusion that he had. He is just absolutely shredding through the opponents. We don't have a ton of defense on either side. Rogue is able to burst through with Sibs. Evil has been playing his Ardent basically to perfection at this point, and we're just falling down like dominoes, one after another here for Misfits. This Celeste is just too vulnerable.
Yeah, very vulnerable, and King's just not able to do the damage because as it's a double CP, You've got 2 shields there for Sibs. Everyone has got their Aegis started up. Rogue are just not taking damage, and Misfits, you know, they rely on a big burst straight off the bat to try and find something, but they can't. Sorrowblade purchased up now for Sibs. He is about to start hitting for a truckload, if you could say that he wasn't before.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, the on hits, that chitin is at something like a 3-second cooldown right now. It's absolutely just kind of crazy how often he's going to be able to proc those bonuses. But now, so far ahead that he just doesn't even need the attack speed. He's just going to hit harder and hit it home. And again, when you're this far ahead, we kind of saw this with Sibs last game, right? Like with the crawl, he just went straight into the damage instead of the defensive. Kind of a bad fight mid-game, but everything else was just spectacular. It feels like the same here. Rogue know that they're far enough ahead that they don't really need to focus on winning long fights. They can end this fast.
As long as they take down Illis straight off the bat, they're good. They're going to do it to Sibs diving onto Illis. Good gauntlet will stop him up, but Illis, can he escape is the question. King certainly trying to help. Eco was stuck on the backline. Solarstone will hit onto a couple, but currently the whole of Misfits split, and Eco will fall in the end. King, with the Termination Protocol, will burst some damage, but it's not much. And Illis is on the turrets being chased by Sibs. He can't escape. He gets the kill. It's an ace for Rogue. The minions are buffed, and now they're just going to take the base here as well for Court.
Disgusting.
14 minutes and a half. Rogue are on fire, and another 2-0 in this North American Spring 2017 split as Rogue defeat Misfits.
NA is on notice. Rogue has come in. They might not have gotten the names of legend, but they are making their own right here, right now. Taking it 2-0 and convincingly to Dowsy. That's the big thing. Again, Sibs, I think that he is lending a lot of experience here to the team. I've met him before in some of these live events. We've seen these guys play in the Evil 8s, but Sibs was sort of like that diamond in a rough. He is really polished and shining here today.
Fantastic stuff from Rogue. You could see their game plan shining through from minute 1, second 1, in fact, in both their games. They stuck to it to a T, and they took that 2-0 cleanly. Over to you, AJ, and the desk to break down that series.